left 3 weeks after my cancer diagnosis. I raised our kids alone through chemo. He showed up at graduation with a new wife, so my son handed him back his own check. His name was on the mortgage. That's about where his involvement ended. When the diagnosis came back, I was sitting in a beige office with a doctor who had clearly delivered this news many times before. She used the word manageable, which I held onto like a rope. Stage 2, left breast, surgery, then 8 months of chemotherapy, then radiation. I drove home alone, sat in the driveway for a while, then went inside and told my husband. He said, okay, not we'll get through this, not I'm here, just okay, in the flat tone of a man already somewhere else. I told myself he was in shock. I gave him every doubt I had. I was wrong, but I didn't know it yet. He left on a Tuesday. My surgery was that Thursday. He said he'd been unhappy for a long time, that we'd grown apart, that the kids would be fine. Our son was 17. Our daughter was 13. He moved 3 states away within the month, into a house with a woman he'd been seeing for 2 years. I found that out during the divorce through phone records and an attorney who told me to document everything and assume nothing. I documented everything. What I can't explain to someone who hasn't been through chemotherapy is how ordinary the days still have to be. The laundry doesn't stop. Papers don't stop needing to be graded. I was a high school English teacher and I taught through all of it. Bald from month 3 onward because the wig gave me headaches and I decided my students could learn to live with what I actually looked like. A few of them cried the first time. I told them being moved by something real is not weakness. My son kept the household running, quietly, without ever making it a thing. Learned to cook from watching me once and started doing it without being asked. Sat with me while I ate on the nights I wasn't sure I could keep food down. Drove his sister to soccer practice when I was too tired. Never once made me feel like a burden across 8 months of treatment. My daughter handled it differently. She got very controlled, very focused. I watched her on the phone with her father one evening, her voice going small, saying, "We need you to come." His answer through the speaker was, "I'll try to get up there soon." She hung up, pulled her homework toward her, and opened it with the precision of someone who had decided not to feel anything. My hands were shaking when I turned back to the dishes. He sent money sometimes. Checks made out to my son once he turned 18. The memo line reading for college or just for you. Like that covered it. Like the arithmetic of a check could balance against 8 months of absence, against a daughter learning at 13 that her father had made his choice and it wasn't her. I assumed my son was spending them on school. He was at Ohio State on a partial scholarship, studying public policy. I was proud of him in the way that takes your breath away. I didn't know about the checks until graduation day. My daughter finished high school at the same school where I taught. My hallways, my colleagues. Full athletic scholarship for soccer. Earned through an ankle injury her sophomore year and months of physical therapy, and a season she came back from anyway. I was in the bleachers when she crossed the stage. My son was beside me. I saw her father near the exit. Blue blazer, the one he wore to parent-teacher conferences. A woman beside him, younger. White flowers in his hand, like he had earned the right to be there. My son saw him the same moment. His jaw tightened, then released. The deliberate calm of a man who has already decided how he's going to handle something. He said, "I know, Mom. I've got it. They found us after the ceremony." Her father came to the edge of the floor while my daughter was still with her friends. He looked at me first. "You look well," he said. I let that sit. Then he turned to my son. My son reached into the inside pocket of his jacket and brought out an envelope, white, worn at the corners like something carried a long time. "Every check you sent me after I turned 18, my son said. "Everyone. I never cashed a single one." Her father looked at the envelope, then at my son. "I don't want your money," my son said. "I want you to understand the difference between mailing something and showing up. You sent checks because it was easier than being here. I get that. But I'm not going to pretend it was the same thing, and I'm not going to let you pretend it was either." He pressed the envelope into his father's hand, held it there a moment, then let go. My daughter was coming across the floor with her diploma and her whole life ahead of her. My son turned and walked toward her. I followed my son. Her father stood at the edge of the room holding his own uncashed checks. Some debts don't get paid, they just get returned.